the main thing is you have to become a busy guy. Your time has to seem in demand, or a woman won't take your time seriously. She will flake on you. She might set up a date with you to get you out of her hair. But when that day comes around, if you've been canceled on, you've been flaked on, if that happens to you repeatedly, the 100% of the problem is you're coming across is too desperate or needy. You're not coming across as busy enough for her by your actions. By your actions. By how quickly you're replying, by how much effort you're putting into your replies and all that stuff. Here's what we're going to start with here, guys. We have the 6 power moves that she uses on you. All right, law 16. Use absence to increase respect. It actually says to increase respect and honor, but too much circulation makes the price go down. The more you are seen and heard from, the more common you appear. If you are already established in a group, temporary withdrawal from it will make you more talked about, even more admired. You must learn when to leave. Create value through scarcity. There's a lot. This is, whenever I start talking with guys, if a guy were to come to me and he had zero, he's never heard of my advice at all about texting or dating or any of that stuff, the first thing I always make sure a guy understands is you have to seem busy. You have to seem that your time is in demand for a woman to take your time seriously. If you seem like you're eager, if you seem like you're available, or even if this is a tough one. Some guys are actually super busy, very driven, very successful men. And some of these guys will come to me and they'll be like, yeah, I am very busy. I am very successful. I don't have a lot of free time. But yet, when I sit there and I ask them, but this girl you just matched with, based on your conversation, based on your text, would she have any idea that you're actually some busy, successful guy without you telling her? And if he looks at the text and he's like, I don't know, I'm not really sure. And I go, okay, let's break down the time. She sends you a text, and 3 minutes later, you reply to her. She sends you another text, you reply to her within 15 minutes each time, right? At a certain point, this is why I said you can't tell her you're busy. She has to figure it out by your interactions, by your behavior, which is why responding slow is always the first crucial step for any guy. Respond slower than you think. Just like when I said say less than you think and exaggerate it, respond slower than you think. Luckily, if you followed mirror texting at all, it's a perfect plan because based on every woman, it will show you exactly, hey, she takes 37 minutes to reply. You never reply quicker than those 37 minutes. So that 37-minute mark hits, now you go, I can reply whenever I want. But there's not a single time you can reply until that 37th minute hits. When you follow that rule, your entire texting online dating game will get so much better. We're actually going to, no, I don't even know why I talked about that. That's going to be one of the other power ones we're going to talk about. But the main thing is you have to become a busy guy. Your time has to seem in demand, or a woman won't take your time seriously. She will flake on you. She might set up a date with you to get you out of her hair. But when that day comes around, if you've been canceled on, you've been flaked on, if that happens to you repeatedly, the 100% of the problem is you're coming across is too desperate or needy. You're not coming across as busy enough for her by your actions. By your actions. By how quickly you're replying, by how much effort you're putting into your replies and all that stuff. So when she thinks, okay, just really think about this, guys. If you had a girl, okay, that girl I just showed you on these texts, like I could text her right now and I could get her to come over in the next hour. I know that she'll come over, she'll drop anything and see me, no matter what. So now just think about this on the opposite end. If you're coming across as eager, if you're coming across as like you're so excited every time she texts you, oh, I love hearing from you. Hey, good morning, beautiful, right? You're coming across, very upfront, you're not hiding your intentions. You're like very much like, I really like you type thing. then what does that girl do? That girl goes, oh, we have a date for Wednesday, but I know no matter when I text this guy, he's going to reply within 15 minutes. I know that this guy is so into me. This guy tells me how beautiful I am. So guess what? She has no incentive to see you right now. She might go, this guy keeps asking me out, so yeah, I'll say Thursday, maybe I can make it work. Thursday rolls around. The guy's like, hey, are we on for a night? And that girl's like, oh, no, sorry, something came up with my family. Oh, no, sorry, I got a friend's birthday party. So if she knows that you're into her, then guess what? She'll flake no matter what, because then she knows, well, if Thursday rolls around, I can just text this guy and be like, hey, what are you doing? He'll drop everything to see me. So, right, that is why she's going to flake on all your dates. Every time you set up a date and you're all eager, if she knows she can get you any other time, she will flake out on you. Versus, I had this rule with women, and I didn't, like I said, I don't tell women this rule, but I had this rule internally in my mind, and women figured it out by the end. But the rule I would have in my mind was, if a girl flakes on me, if she reschedules, she cancels a date on me, I will not set up another date with her for at least 2 weeks. If you're having a problem getting flaked on, internalize that mindset and don't be a beta-mom pussy boy and stick to it. She cancels on you. She switches out. It doesn't matter what happened. Oh, my best friend had to give birth. I don't care what the excuse is. Oh, no problem. Hey, have fun with your best friend. Guess what? I am not going to set up another date with her for 2 weeks. I'm going to make her chase me to get another date. I'm not going to bend on that. That's what's going to happen. And guess what? When I started to do that, I stopped getting flaked on, because my mindset was just, it would start to come across to women that, shoot, if I don't take this opportunity with him, I won't get another one. There would be times, especially when I was teaching, when I would have like my full on day, and then I would, do blah, 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 maybe work in a club or something after school, and I have very little free time, versus now I can reschedule. I could actually schedule out my time more. There'd be times where I would have, maybe 10 girls at certain points lined up in 14, 16 days of different dates. So if a girl flaked, it was seriously like, hey, oh, no problem. Hey, have fun. And I remember there'd be times where I would like come home from school or something, or come home from work, and I would be like, oh my God, I'm so glad she canceled. And it was like a very like organic, like, man, I'm so glad she canceled. I just want to sit home tonight, smoke a little joint, watch a good movie, man. I just want to relax, and I don't want to go out on another date. So there'd be times where and it was like a legit thing. Like, she canceled. Well, you won't get another spot with me for like 2 weeks. I have dates lined up. You're not going to get another chance with me. When that happens, girls won't flake. They'll do anything to see you. They'll drive 3 hours to see you. They'll bring over goodies and gifts for you just to see you. They'll say, hey, can I do blah, blah, blah? Like, if I'm like, hey, nah, I think I'm saying it tonight. I just want to like read or something. Hey, can I come over and read with you? I'm like, no. Girls would be like, well, can I come over and I can work on my own stuff while you're reading? I'm like, no. Well, can I do blah, blah, blah? Well, what about when she just wants to be around you? She just wants to be in your presence. But if you don't ever make your time in demand, she'll never demand your time like you want her to. Now, how do women use this on men? Hey, male patriarchy. I got a whole nother way. You guys, a lot of guys don't. I've had guys come to me and be like, Adam, do you only give texting advice? And it's so funny because I just did a really bad job, I guess, of marketing or whatnot. It's like, I remember going, oh man, I just want to teach guys so many different moves you can do to get this girl. Like, she's going to be all over you in person. She's going to do blah, blah, blah. And what I started to do is I was just like, well, I'm just going to teach all the things I know about women. And again, when I started this business, people wouldn't believe me when I would say, yeah, this works. Stop replying to her. Stop doing this. So what I would do is I would show my text message to explain an actual, basically attraction or seduction principle with women. But it didn't just mean this is all you can do in texting. It meant like, understand this principle about women. I'm going to show you how this works by showing you this text message. Watch how much she's chasing me. Look how much she's throwing herself at me. But the actual principles behind it, a lot of those work just as well in person, making her chase me. So how about this? Something like, she'll drop her pennies. Oh yeah, for sure she will. How about this? Let's see. The chase one. I want to go back to the chase one. I'll give you an example of make other people come to you. All right. I love talking about this one, guys, because it's so some guys like, oh yeah, you got really good game, right? They get with a girl, and it's like, now I got a girl over my place, and they're just zoned in on the girl. Oh, they're watching a movie, and it's like, man, I can't wait to just start kissing, making out with this girl. Losing their frame because now that they're with a girl. But it's like all of these laws that I'm going to teach, everything I talk about, it's applicable. So make other people come to you, okay? If I'm sitting down with a girl, and if she sits on the other couch, I have 2 couches in my other room, especially when girls come over after the first night, like after a first date, and she comes over to my place. Usually she's going to sit on the opposite couch, and I'm going to sit on my couch on the other side, across from each other. It's comfort. Now, some guys are sitting there going, how am I going to game plan of when I'm going to like get up, go to the bathroom, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to try to sit on her couch with her. I'm going to try to, move smoothly, make my way over to her, right? Again, think about that. This is a very real example of what a lot of guys do. Go back to the actual principles. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. I am on my couch. I'm laying down. I'm stretched out. I'm having a great time. The girl, eventually, we start watching, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of our movie. She goes to the bathroom. She comes back. She nudges me and she goes, hey, scoot over. She was doing the whole plan. When do I make my move to come to Adam? When do I make my sly move to get next to him? Now, again, women won't do that if you're always going to her. The guys that are like, when am I going to go over to her couch? They're always playing offense, and then that forces the girl to play defense. She goes, oh, shoot, he's coming after me. I'm going to make sure that he doesn't try to, sleep with me on night one. Her whole defenses go up when you're chasing after her. So in that same scenario, now I'm on the couch. Now she's going to come to me. Okay, now we're laying together. I'm watching the movie. She's staring at me. When is this guy going to kiss me? I'm watching the movie. She's still staring at me. I can feel it with my peripheral vision. I can feel her looking at me, smiling, looking at me. She's just hoping that I turn to her so we can start kissing. I know what she's doing. I'm watching my movie. I'm on my purpose. I'm watching Tangled, my favorite Disney movie right there. Boom, right behind me on that little thing. Okay, so I'm doing my own thing, and guess what? Now she has to chase after me. Now she has to move even closer to my face, to the point where she's like right on me, and then I'm like turning, and I'm just like, all right, fine, I'll give you one quick kiss, but then we're getting back to the movie. I give her a little kiss. I look at her, smile. I like your lips. And then I'm like, all right, back to the movie. Boom. Guess what? Now she's still chasing me. Now she's waiting for the next moment where we can kiss a little bit longer. I do that the entire night. When we get to her dropping her panties, same way. I'm never aggressive. I'm never overly aggressive. She's always coming after me. And then she's on the offense. I'm on the defense. She's sitting here trying to play with me under the covers. She's trying to play with little Adam down there. And I'm just like, hey, stop that. This is a good part of the movie. Stop that. I didn't say, hey, I'm not that easy. Not on the first date, you think I'm going to do that? I look at her like that, disapproving, like, come on. We're about to hear another great song in this movie. Focus. She's always chasing. Her defense is completely gone. She doesn't even think about defense anymore. All she thinks about, her hypergamy goes, I have to have this guy. She's on offensive mode because as a man, if you're able to hold your frame, hold your masculinity, and you're not chasing after, she then goes, I can trust this guy that if it got out of control, he would stop it, right? He's in control of his emotions. He's in control of his arousal. He's not chasing after me. I'm not going to have to put a restraining order on this guy. It's more like this guy's going to have to put a restraining order on me because I can't stop coming after him. So all of these principles, when I tell you guys something about texting, it's because it's an actual visual thing you can usually see or picture. I can give you the scenario. But all of these same things, the reason my text game got so good is just because I understood all this other stuff in person. And then I reverse engineered it, and I thought about texting. It took me a long time to implement it all in texting. Texting was hard for me to really figure out at first. And then it was like, boom, I got it down. I just kept practicing different things. I kept refining it. I kept doing all these little things. I kept all these books I was reading about like success, the law of success, 48 laws of power, all these things about how to start a business, all these other like things when it's all about, hey, you got to have a plan. You got to be focused. You got to be committed to your goal. All of these things I was thinking about, it's like, yeah, I want to do that. And women like really successful men, really guys that are going somewhere. So, right, everything I'm reading in the book, I'm like, the only way that she's going to know that you're a successful guy, you can't tell her that. I know that with women. You can't tell her that. You got to show her. Okay. I changed my whole texting game. I'm like, I'm going to make her work to get my attention because I'm a man going places. I was just taking all of these other things I was learning. I was like, how can I incorporate this into texting? So all these things are going to work in person to get the panties down. But texting is just an easier step for a lot of these. It's the first step, kind of. Okay, I think we're on. What are we on? Are we on this one? Man, it's kind of hot in here now. I had to turn on my heat in here for the first time in a while. It's getting cold in Washington. Now it's hot in my room here. I saw that, Normie. Yeah. Hey, well, Nicholas, that's exactly why you also know now why so many women love to conceal their intentions. They have no actual intention of being with some guy, but it feels dang good for this guy to buy her a bunch of drinks, right? So this is why, right? This is why they do it. It's human nature for both of us. It's just that women can get away with it right now because there's so many simps out there. But the men that stop, once men stop simping, it's going to flip. All right, so here's the weapon to watch out for Law 16. Use absence to increase respect. So here's something you're going to hear from women. I'm really busy right now. Especially if you're pursuing, right? If you're always going, hey, when can you get together? Hey, can you do next Wednesday? Don't ask a girl out like that. But anyway, and she's going to be like, well, I'm really busy right now. Oh, work's really stressful right now. School's really tough right now. I got a quiz coming up. It's like, no. Listen. Women don't care what is going on in their life. If there's a man that they're attracted to, they will drop anything for that. Oh, I got a test tomorrow. She doesn't care. She'll flunk that test if she can have a chance for the night with Chatter Tyrone that she's really into. So I'm really busy right now. That's one of those things that she's using to get guys to be like, dang, she's really busy. It's the reverse of what I just told you about. Women won't respect a man that his time is not in demand. Well, guys then fall into this trap of, oh, she's really busy. Oh, she's got a bunch of matches. I better do something to force my way in there or else she'll forget about me. She's so busy. She always has things going on. Okay, if you take on that mindset, that is like the feminine mindset. That is the, oh, wow, she's such an all-star. I would be lucky to have her versus like, remember, women want the all-star. The woman wants to go, he's such an all-star. Man, I wish I could have him. So I'm really busy right now. You'll hear that one a lot. Oh, things are really tough for me. I don't know. They'll be very non-committal about, hanging out. Hey, what are you doing next Thursday? Oh, I don't really know. I'm pretty busy. I'm not really sure. They won't give you an answer. Or they'll give you maybe the maybe reply. Oh, maybe I could make it work. And then that guy's like, cool, I'll be on for next Wednesday. And in her mind, she had no plans of actually meeting up with that guy. Here's another one to do. Let me check and get back to you. Oh, let me check and get back to you. Never does. Until the guy's like, hey, did you check? Hey, can you make it work? And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to get back to you. You know why? she didn't care anymore. She was bored. So, let me get back to you. She had no intention to. You didn't engage her. She wasn't engaged. So she's just like, oh yeah, I'll get back to you. Then that guy's sitting there hanging on the edge, and you can feel in the reverse how powerful this is when this girl's really hard to get a hold of. It's like every time, when she just texts me, she just texted me. I want to get her while she's on her phone because it's really hard to get a reply from her. So she texts me, even though Adam from Texting Prince, who's done this a million bazillion times and tells me, mirror her time, never reply quicker than she does. Even though Adam says to do it, this girl's special. And she never replies to me. So she texts you and you're like, oh, frick. She's on her phone. Shoot, I got 2 minutes to reply to her real quick. Hey, how's it going? How's your day? How's your week? We haven't talked for a while. Trying to catch her on her phone. That is so powerful. And you guys can feel that. Every guy knows that feeling of that. I got to catch her while she's on the phone. I knew that feeling very much as well. That's why I go, wait a second. That feeling gets me. Women really like a successful, busy man. That means if I can make a woman feel the same anticipation, this same wonder of when he's going to reply, that's going to be powerful. So those are the ways that I would reverse engineer this and then try to figure out how can I make this work? How can I make this work consistently? And then how can I make this work consistently and teach it to another guy? Those are kind of the progressions that I had in my own mind about how I can learn the texting game, basically. And then this last one, this is what Nicholas talked about, the very, very, the word maybe is a man's goodbye. The maybe date, never accept a maybe date, guys. Intentional non-reply. So this is what Nicholas is talking about. Now this, guys, this is where, even if you're hearing this, and I know that there's some guys that watch this that have game. I know that. There's definitely guys that hear like, hey, I'm not even playing the game with women. Understandable. There's other guys that go, I'm not really sure. I haven't really had much experience with women. Understandable. There are some guys, and some guys will send me DMs and be like, dude, I used your blah, blah, blah. Look what happened. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, you know what's up here. But here's the deal. You're going to eventually get the intentional non-reply. When you're good at this, when you might never get the intentional non-reply where she's actually trying to do it because she likes you. You may never get that if you are making all these other mistakes. It'll never come because she's bored. You're a beta montour. But the intentional non-reply is when the girl sits around with her girlfriends, because they talk about everything, if you guys didn't know this. And she goes, man, I really like this guy, but he won't reply, or he barely ever texts me. He takes forever to reply to me. And then all the girls that think they're so smart, they think they're such hot stuff because they got simps just making the game so easy for them. They're like, oh, here's what you do. Don't reply for 24 hours, no matter what. Or don't reply for 48 hours, no matter what. Okay, they'll do the intentional non-reply. It's like, the way I look at this in my mind is like, oh man, I haven't even put out that video yet about when I was explaining that it's easier for me to get with way more attractive girls nowadays than average girls, because the attractive girls can feel my confidence, and I can say something to where they're going to go, that guy has balls, and then she's going to be intrigued, because most guys will be really scared around the most attractive girls. Even the guys that are like, they got experience and stuff, if he doesn't have game, a lot of guys are going to pedestalize the hottest women. So to me, the most attractive women, to me personally, are the easiest nowadays because there's less competition. Most guys get sympathified when they play it with an attractive girl, where me, I'm just like, oh, this is going to be fun. I know what I can say to her here that is going to be so opposite of simpish. She's not even going to know what to do with herself. So the intentional non-reply is when these girls are like, oh, I like this guy, but we're going to get him back. He won't be able to hold it. So it'll be at this point where I'll be like, okay, this girl's cute, whatever. I know I said this thing witty. Oh, I know this. She's replying quicker. I can tell all the things why. I'm like, okay, she's into me. And then I get the intentional non-reply. And I'm like, okay, This girl is not texting me for 48 hours here. And then I laugh in my head and I go, I know exactly what stage I'm at right now. She's giving me the intentional non-reply thinking I'm going to fail this test. And then what I do is I laugh at that and I go, oh. And in my head I go, big mistake. I just put an extra 48 hours on top of the mirror texting that I wasn't going to reply to on you now. So now you're going to have to wait 4 days for me to reply to you next time you text me. Because what's going to happen is eventually she's going to text me, and then I'm not going to reply for a long time, and then she's going to double text me or triple text me, and then that's when I'll actually, reply back. But what I'm doing right there is I'm showing her with my behavior that your little intentional non-reply game didn't work on me. I knew exactly what you were doing, and I just punished you for trying that on me. Because again, think about the fantasies women have about a guy like the CEO putting her in her place. All that type of stuff. Like, women want that strong man. So that's like the way I penalize her. I go, oh, she's going to play this game with me, right? I don't tell her, oh, I know what game you're playing. I just don't reply. And then I laugh. And then anytime she gets around a drinking scenario, she's out with her friends, she's drinking, she's blah, blah, blah. Anytime alcohol's in her, she's going to pull a drunk texting Dennis, and she can't help it but text the guy that she couldn't figure out, and that she breaks her own non-reply rule. She's like, I wasn't supposed to reply to him I wasn't supposed to text him for 48 hours, but I can't help it. She's drinking and she goes, hey, what are you up to? I miss you. She'll all of a sudden do that. And then boom, that's when I go, especially with the hot girls, I go, she's drinking. I have her. And then I keep her chasing the whole way along. And the hottest women have never had a guy play it like that with them, that then they stay so enamored. They stay so engaged. They stay so focused on you, because they've never had that treatment before. So the intentional non-reply will come, and don't fall for it. Don't get needy. Just laugh and be like, okay, cool. The non-reply came. She's into me. Now I'm going to make her come back twice as hard for trying this game on me. Okay, here's how you can use this. Always reply slower than her, period. Always slower than her. Remember, if you're the prize, she's chasing after you. Very easy. Always slower than her. And a rule I do is I won't reply within 5 minutes more than one time in a row. Even if she's like replying within like 2 minutes, I might reply within 2 minutes one time, but then I'm going to be unpredictable. I'm not going to sit here and text her back all day long because she's replying within 2 minutes. You're always replying slower than her. So at a base, she takes 2 minutes, you're going to be longer. But after I do that once or twice, I'm still a busy guy, right? I got to get that image in her head, and I have things to do, so I'm not going to sit around texting her. But the rule is always slower than her. Always slower than her, and then she starts to see that your time is in demand, and she takes your time seriously. And then here's another one. When setting up a date, plan a week ahead. If I'm hanging out with a girl, why? Because busy men aren't able to willy-nilly just randomly have girls hang out whenever. This is one that I used to do, that I used to fail at, is even when a girl, let's say a girl was drinking or something, and she texts me and she's like, all like, hey, I really miss you, blah, blah, blah. And I might be tempted to be like, hey, you want to come over tonight or something like that? It's like, no, I've done it so many times, right? Always resist that, plan ahead for a week. So how I do this is if I'm hanging out or if I'm, texting a girl and she's like, hey, we should meet up sometime. I'll say, all right, what's your schedule look like next week? When are you free next week to get together? The next week. She needs to know that you're not a guy that's just like, oh, how about tonight? You want to hang out tonight? You want to hang out tomorrow? And you're that eager dog that she can't get rid of then. But if you're like, no, a week away, right? Think about that. Now you set a week, a date for next Tuesday or something. And now she's waiting that whole time. Like, man, I can't wait for Tuesday, because you're not blabbering on her. You were focused on that. This is where you talk about the confirmation date. Way back, was it Striped? Someone was talking about the confirmation date thing. So let's say I say next Tuesday at whatever, 9:00. And there's more to when I set up dates. I've done that before, but just as a kind of general rule, then we set up the date. I'm like, cool, great. Can't wait to see you next Tuesday at 7:00. I reconfirm that in her mind, and I go, I gotta go. I'm reading. I got to go. I'm going to the gym. I got to go. I'm working on, a project. And then I'm gone. Now, within the next few days, she's waiting. She's excited. You're not reaching out to her. You shouldn't be. Wait for her to reach out to you. She might then bring up hey, how are you doing randomly within the next day or two? Hey, how's it going? She's just making this. She wants to hear from you because she misses you. So that happens. I might say, hey, had a great day. Been pretty productive. How was your day? I just give her one of those. She's like, blah, blah, blah. It was great. I'm like, oh, cool. All right, I got to run, but looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday. So you see how I do that? I leave, but I keep confirming in her head, looking forward to seeing you Tuesday at 7. She's like, okay, great. Have fun. Have a good night. Boom, I'm done. Then again, right? Now, Tuesday at 7, I'm meeting her at the place. I'm not expecting to sit here and check in with her. But what she will do a lot of times is she'll text me Monday night or she'll text me Tuesday and be like, hey, are we still on for tomorrow? Are we still on for tonight? I'm looking forward to seeing you. Blah, blah, blah. She'll reach out to you when you don't make these mistakes. But plan a week ahead for setting up a date. Never fall into the, come on over right now, unless you are Chatter Tyrone or this girl is so, like I said with that girl on my phone, right? That girl, if she were to say, hey, what are you doing tonight? And she's sent me like 6 or 7 texts I haven't responded to. And if I was actually free, I might just be like, I'm busy till 9. What are you up to? And she might be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm not doing anything at 9. You want to hang out? And I'll be like, yeah, you can come on over, bring a bottle of wine. I'll pick out the movie, whatever. So you can get away with it, but don't try this until she's into your spider web. She's into your orbit on the same night. Always try to plan a week ahead. Keep that busy image up. Don't forget, subscribe. Like, comment, share the video. Definitely subscribe.